Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Bryce Bats, the co-founder of Career Collective and a certified career coach specializing in the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. With over 15 years of recruiting experience, she helps professionals land roles that fit their lives while guiding leaders to build high-performing teams that drive real results. Her journey from owning a boutique clothing store to becoming a top recruiter at firms like Futures Consulting highlights her knack for spotting talent and turning career frustrations into breakthroughs. With that being said, Bryce, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you on the podcast. This is going to be a cool conversation. A lot of different aspects that I would like to cover. So we're just going to jump right in. And how I love to open up with every single one of my guests is with a bit of traveling back in time. So before you even launched this current company of yours, what was that journey like before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for even getting into the space?
I won't drag this out too long, but I'll take you way back to I graduated college. I had met my now husband, then boyfriend. We moved to South Florida. He's a landscape architect, and he got a fabulous job doing resort design in South Florida. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had done sales, but I went back and got my MBA and met a girl at school who said, "You should come work with me. You'd be a great recruiter. And it's in the same industry as your boyfriend." So she said, "You'll love it." So I started recruiting in the AEC industry, and I really have not done anything since then except recruiting, except for this small amount of time I had my clothing store, which was a passion I had had since high school, I would say, and started college for that path and then switched to business management. But I just fell in love with recruiting. I feel like no one sets out to be a recruiter. I love making that match. For a long time, my LinkedIn said chief matchmaker. And it is the reason why I wrote my book, The Career Architect, as well, because I felt like I had held this tension for so long between what employers want and what employees want.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's been a long time for you in the industry. So,
Yeah.
um, you played with some big players, that's for sure. But I'm also pretty sure with you really stepping into this and treating it as your own business opportunity, running this company now, it always takes some time to really make those pivots, make those tweaks, and really find that sweet spot when it comes to all of these different aspects of your business. What we're going to talk about now is obviously where that journey got you overall and what the business looks like today. So, with that in mind, who is that most ideal client that you're really trying to serve with your company right now? And also, once you find them, what is that core offering that you have in place for them?
Yeah, really great question. So my business partner and I had worked together at a previous firm called Futures Consulting, which you spoke about. And like many people after COVID, decided, what are we doing here? We should do this on our own. So we left and started Career Collective. So we're in year 5 and we're still serving the same clients we did back then, which was great because so many of our clients followed us. We're in the AEC space, and what we find here and the way it's been for many years, knock on wood, is that it is a talent shortage. So our clients really need us to help them find good talent. So they're looking for architects, engineers, anything in the built environment. And we're helping them not only find a great candidate, but somebody that wants to stay. So again, going back to the matchmaking, finding someone who's a skills and culture fit. And honestly, most times if we find a good candidate, we'll have multiple interviews lined up for them. And that's the way we're able to get our clients because they do need these employees so badly.
Would you say that there is basically two separate arms of the business where you, like the B2B side, where you work directly with the company, help them with the recruitment process, but also with the B2C, where somebody is looking for a job and you can help them find that true career spot for them? Or how do you approach it?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So we talk to great candidates who might be looking for a new role. And then essentially we're going out and finding a job for them. Now we have positions that aren't posted on the internet anywhere because these are clients we work closely with, and a lot of these jobs go unposted. So that's an advantage for the candidate. It's also a free service for them. Our clients pay our fees. And then if the candidate says, look, I've got a decent job, but I'm looking for something maybe outside of the industry or don't know what I want to do next, we offer career coaching as well. And now we're offering consulting also to clients who need more than a recruiter. They need a framework, they need a strategy to really build their pipeline and to attract and retain talent.
I love the structure. This is smart. So beautiful. Good for you. Now, just to dive deeper into this, though, when it comes to building, what I'm thinking about now, though, is like the scalability of this model, right? So, like, obviously, there's a lot of different alternatives, a lot of different venues that you can explore when it comes to how to scale this business. But what do you think is really going to be that most scalable model? Is it going to be about like just having more people within your own company, maybe more coaches, consultants, so that they can take over when it comes to fulfillment, or what do you think is going to be the thing for you?
Yeah, that's a good question too. We found our thing is hiring more recruiters to find more candidates, to market to more clients. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the flywheel, but our recruiter is the pedal to our flywheel. It's what keeps us in business because when we have good recruiters, they're out there sourcing, finding great candidates, and that allows us to have more placements, which is driving more revenue. So ultimately, we would love to hire more recruiters. We have an office in Tampa, Florida, an office in Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh's our headquarters, and we have a really big space that our dream is to fill up.
Hmm. Okay. Bryce, when it comes to this, I think that you really successfully build a huge network over all of those years that you spend in the industry. But I still want to touch on the back end side of the business because obviously the B2B sector is the primary monetization model for you. And there
Yes.
is a lot that goes into it in terms of how to communicate with those companies, where to even find them in the first place. So when it comes to your marketing strategy and overall those efforts that you're taking on that front, what is it that you guys specifically do to generate those right contacts and leads and just have this ability to continue to onboard new and new companies and just scale the impact of your company?
Yeah, in the past, you probably have heard recruiters are like used car salesmen. We get a really bad rap, and some people do not like to work with us. And I tell our clients, I say, look, I know we're your last resort because it's expensive to work with a recruiter, and there's guarantees, but no one can guarantee a candidate will stay 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So we try to make sure that the candidate is a good fit by doing our due diligence. And then we really want to get to know the client as well. So when we send the candidate over, we make sure the skill set aligns, obviously, and then that they are a good fit for what the client's looking for. The spray and pray method does not work any longer. You really have to build a relationship with the client. And that was something I learned now having done this almost 20 years, and it has changed a lot. Whereas, we would just call off of a sheet. I was on the phone all day. Now we're doing more texting, LinkedIn messages. But to me, it is still very important to pick up the phone and actually talk to the clients and get to know them. It will allow you to have more placements. It will allow you more wiggle room with the candidates that you send. So much more can happen when you've got a relationship with the other person.
Would you say that those outbound strategies and really the manual outreach is going to be the number one priority for you? Or are you guys also trying to create like a better lead gen system on the back end side of the business so that it's more inbound? Or what is your
We
experience?
we would love to have it more inbound. We find that job postings don't work. So a lot of it is outbound, but where I see a lot of inbound candidates is from having a LinkedIn presence, from having a presence in the market, referral network. That's the way you can get inbound candidates, but you do have to constantly be doing outbound as well to keep your pipeline full.
100%. And it's also like a big piece of that is really just putting yourself out there and just staying engaged with that audience. So obviously you guys are going to have to generate a ton of content. Now, when it comes to this, I'm curious though, overall, like using social media platforms, how big of a part does it actually take? Or, sorry, what was my thought here? How big of a part does it like play when it comes to your lead generation, when it comes to social media specifically?
Yeah, I would love to tell you that we were able to track all the ROI on our post on LinkedIn and follow those messages and things that we do to actual placements. We don't. We're just not able to. What I can do is tell you where each candidate we place comes from in terms of if we found them on LinkedIn, Indeed, other job boards, if it was a referral, et cetera. But you've heard in sales, you have to stay in front of the top of mind. And so you might have to someone may have to see your ad 7 times before they buy from you. And so I think just staying in front of people. And with social media, you can create a lot of momentum. It is a highlight reel, of course, but people see the things you're doing there and that gets them excited and they want to work with you. So I do think it's an important part.
Has it been mostly organic though, or have you guys also dabbled into the world of paid ads and that side of social media to create more volume, more exposure, or what is the experience on that front?
Yeah, it's been mostly organic. I love podcasting. I have my own podcast, so I'm able to have some great architects and engineers on the podcast, Wine After Work, and talk to them there, and that will generate leads. For instance, I had someone from Canon Design on, and then I just had a great candidate today, and I emailed them and said, I'm working with this woman. She's really high level. Would you like to see her resume? And because we already knew each other from the podcast, we had a relationship. We haven't done any paid ads. We've thought about it, and it may be something we do in the future. It's a lot different for a recruiting company, I think, to do things like that, but things are always changing. So, who knows?
Absolutely. It's just one of those avenues that you might explore later on. But
Right.
when it comes to this, I'm also curious though. I've been getting into more and more conversations about the end goal of building a business, right? Like we're all coming with a different perception of what would be the best thing for us. But when it comes to you, I'm just curious, what is that distinction? Are you trying to build a bigger operation and is this going to be more of an empire that is supposed to keep growing and growing? Or are you treating this at this stage as more of a lifestyle business for yourself?
Yeah, so I think this has changed a little over the course of the business and having a business partner too. So this has been interesting because he's a single guy and I have a family, and so our goals are very different. I think in the end, we both would like to be able to sell the business, but we're not looking to do that anytime soon. And we want to make sure that our employees are really well taken care of when we do, and that, the culture doesn't completely change and things like that. But if we're looking down the road, even 7 to 10 years, sure, that's a goal.
Okay, so eventually sell the business. All right, let's dig deeper into this goal setting of yours. Obviously, this
Okay.
is a part of your plans, but if we look at it from the short-term perspective, maybe what's supposed to happen just over the course of this year alone, 2026, what would you say are some of the biggest targets for you? Some milestones that you have set for yourself, maybe the revenue that you guys want to generate. What does it look like?
Yeah, we're 15 people right now, so we're a pretty small company. I will share that we've done about $4 million year over year. We've been pretty steady. So obviously, we would like to generate more revenue. We would like to hire more employees, especially in our Raleigh location where we have room to do that. And we just do AEC recruiting, but there's still so much untapped market within AEC that we have not touched yet. So continuing to expand across the industry is definitely our goal as well.
Mm. So a lot of ambition here. Obviously, you want to hire more people, you want to grow as a company. Generally speaking, to see this kind of growth and scale, out of everything, what are you expecting to really stand in the way the most? Whether that's right now or along that journey, become the biggest challenge of seeing that growth.
I would say thus far, it has been cash flow. We're a service-based business, and I can see our receivables, outstanding receivables at any given time, but we're still waiting for clients to pay. So I think you asked me if there was ever a time we wanted to leave the business or shut the business down. I would say we had one of those moments where we're like, oh my goodness, if our clients don't pay, then we're going to have to come up with other funding, even though we knew the money was going to come, it was a matter of when. And so that put us in a tight spot, and that can be really tough.
Mm. Yeah. Would you say that there has been multiple of those moments throughout the years?
Over the 5 years, there's been two like, oh crap moments.
Yeah. You know what? But still, if you look at your industry, I think that you're one of those company who's actually keeping like a very good, structure in terms of longevity of the business. I feel like you figured out a lot of those systems and processes already. So I'm curious if there is maybe anything that you see you guys doing differently from all of those other recruiting agencies and companies out there.
Yeah, we came from a very dog eat dog environment. I would say it was very boiler room-esque. And so when we created Career Collective, we wanted to have a really great culture. And we say we are a collective. We really work together as a team. So I think when our team is happy, they're doing good work. So just leaning into the culture that we have here, we offer unlimited PTO, we offer good benefits for a small company, and we do fun Fridays and a President's Club trip. That's all stuff I enjoy, and I love having flexibility. So we have a hybrid schedule. They can get Fridays off. We want to make sure we keep doing those things for our team.
Yeah, a lot of initiatives here.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, Bryce, we talk a lot about AI. Obviously, the whole world is talking about AI. So I'm curious, in terms of this evolution that we see on that front, is there maybe any sort of like a piece of technology or AI tool that you guys recently implemented and you could really call it a game changer for your company?
I see lots of ways AI is making our job easier and making us more efficient. I don't know if I've seen the way it's a game changer yet, but there are a lot of tools that I like. The CRM we use, Loxo, has a Loxo sourcing feature. And so that can pull names from all over the internet. And I had a call with another recruiting company who's trying to create just one database, which I think would be hard to do. But I was telling them that the candidates we get or the list we get from Loxo Source is very different from the list we get of people from People GPT, which is another AI source we're using. So there are several out there, and then we still type in notes into our CRM. They tell us there's going to be a better transcripting tool that they're going to be implementing. I think that'll be great. So then we don't have to take notes at all. It will transcribe it. We tried something like that, and it still wasn't great because you had to go in and copy and paste into the all the boxes. So we'll see if that happens. That'd be great. And I know there's going to be more tools probably by the month.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not perfect, not yet.
No, it's
I
getting
feel
there
like the
really
shift
quickly.
Yeah, I feel like the shift that we see, it's a little bit scary at this point. I don't think that, even with social media, I like to, recollect those moments, maybe like a decade ago, and the evolution that we've seen with social media and something new every couple of months. That was exciting. That was like, whoa. But with AI, there's pretty much a daily occurrence at this point, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to stay on top of that. But yeah, Bryce, let me ask you one last question. Obviously, again, it's been decades for you in the industry, so a lot of learning lessons there. If you look at those early days and stages of you just launching this operation on your own, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give to that younger version of Bryce? Something that you didn't know back then and you do know now.
That's good. I think in most sales positions and in recruiting also, don't ride the highs too high, don't ride the lows too low. But you just have to stay even keeled and you have to have consistent output, constantly be reaching out to people. And you'll see sometimes you're closing every deal, every interview you have, and then other times every offer is getting declined. But it's going to switch. Before you know it, you're back on top. So just if you're consistent with your output and what you can control, everything will fall in line.
Oh yeah. You know what? There is the thing called the law of averages, and it will
Yes.
certainly balance itself out. So great point. Awesome. Bryce, I love the company that you build. I love the journey. So I'm going to be cheering up for you guys. I'm curious
Thank
where you're
you.
going to take it. If we have anybody who's listening to us right now who might be wanting to get to know you more, maybe just follow the journey, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm always on LinkedIn, Bryce Bats. You can find me there, message me, follow along. And then our website is mycareercollective.com.
Beautiful. Thank you again. It was a pleasure to have you on the
Thank
podcast.
you.
Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.